So tonight's going to be kind of a little orientation, going over what's expected in the new year, just making sure that we're following policy and everybody's needs are being met. So we can graduate on time, get our practical requirements completed, and make sure we get all of our models completed. Were you guys able to work on some of your practical requirements during break?
I did. I uploaded some videos. I've done quite a few.
Okay, I saw some of you. I think that was Shay, right?
That's Latoya.
Latoya. I sounded like your voice, but then Shay's name popped up. Okay, well, I saw yours. I don't think I saw anybody else's. So you're actually, I think, our next graduate out of all the aesthetics people. So I think you'll be graduating this month, if I remember correctly.
Yes, I'm trying.
Okay, how I can't see your current hours. So do you know what your last hours were on TDLR?
Yeah, I needed like 100 and I did like 70. So I'm around 30, 40 to be done.
Okay, so next week or two.
Yes.
And you have all of your model and practical requirements completed.
Mostly.
Headphones are weird. All right. Okay. So
I asked you
again,
that you want a full set.
what did you say?
I said I asked you that you want a full set.
Are you good? Yeah. When do you want to do it?
I can come to the school one day this week.
Gonna have to do like after that.
Okay. What are you not at the school this week or are you coming back next week?
No, I'm at the school, but it can't be like while I'm teaching.
Right, it'd have to be in the evening. Okay, I'll private message you.
That's fine.
Okay.
All right. Okay, so starting tomorrow, ladies, just to make sure that we don't interrupt class as far as admittance into the class, will cut off at 5 till what, 10:05, 5:35. So that way I don't have to stop the PowerPoint or whatever to let people in, and I'll just make sure that it's recorded and you have what you need so you can watch it at a later time. There's up to 31 students, so there's 31 of you guys, and then we also have new students starting on Monday. So the program's growing, more people are coming, that's excellent. Glad you guys are looking for a way to, supplement your income, do something for yourself and hopefully your family. But just to have like a standard across the board, so we're all on the same page at 5:35 will be, and I'll write that again tonight. Also, starting tonight, I'm gonna start putting up the schedule for the week. So if anybody's like, man, I wonder what we're doing on Wednesday, you can go back to the post from Monday and see. So I'll have what your requirements will need to be on Monday, not this Monday, but next Monday. If you're going to be online at night, we are going to start doing practical stuff, meaning you're going to engage with me and practice with me. So it's not just me going over the movements and doing the things, but you're actually using your mannequins, using your product, and then you can ask the necessary questions. Ideally, if you have a model to be there with you so you can work on a live person, that's great. But if you don't, the mannequin's there. But again, the point of this is to get you prepared to really work on people. It can be very intimidating when you work on your first client, especially a paying client at the school. It can be kind of nerve-wracking. So the goal of this is to hopefully get some of that nervousness out of the way when you're working on different people, and you'll be more comfortable because, hey, I've done this massage 16 times on my mom, I've done this facial 8 times on my husband, whatever. So you'll be more comfortable coming in. This will only be Monday. So Mondays, 5:30 to 6:30, 5:30 to 6:20, exclusively practical time, working hopefully on live models or mannequins from your home. We will not be at school. I still have the same schedule. 5:30 is virtual, and then the rest of the time. So moving forward, that is going to be something that we are going to incorporate so you guys feel that much more ready. Because if you're a completely online student, it's going to be a little bit more challenging for you because you won't have access. I mean, you have access to us, but not in-person access to us. So it's different. Yes, it's doable, but it is different being in person than being virtual, especially since we're in such a hands-on industry. There's also a new set of student practical requirements that's on Cengage. So those of you that just started in December, we're going to go over that tonight and hopefully answer any questions you have. Those of you that have previously been here and you have your practical requirements, just keep filling out this sheet that you guys have and make sure that you're dating it, putting the start time and the finish time. We can see, okay, it's taking 3 hours to do this. It's taking 4 hours to do this, so on and so forth. Anybody have any questions thus far? Okay. So here is Google Classroom. Most of us know where that is. This is our platform that we will be communicating on. You guys can see just
Sorry, Miss Ashley, I'm late. I was in the other class. I didn't know there were two going on tonight.
You're fine. Hold on, I wasn't sharing my. Let me share. Okay. All right. Can you guys see my screen?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Sure. Okay, so as most of you that have been here know, this is our platform. Some of you have not handed in your hours for December. It is really important, ladies, that we try to get our hours handed in a timely manner so that way everybody can do what they need to do. So here is where you will hand in your hours. If you have questions about handing in your hours, this is where you hand it in. So you go to your name. I'm just going to pick on Ebony Adams. You go to your name. You can take a picture of your hour sheet that you hopefully printed out and then just upload it and then it's sent in. Make sure you do that by the date because that throws everything off when we're waiting on hours. So if we're waiting on hours, that slows up advising, that slows up getting your hours to state board, that slows up the accuracy of everything. You guys that have been here have seen a lot of discrepancies in the hours. That's because people aren't handing it in on time. So if you're, not following the guidelines of, hey, this is due this at this time, and you send it in 2 to 3 weeks later, that slows up everything. You'll find that there's more mistakes like that because we have to go back, figure out. So make sure whatever deadline that there is that you try to stick to it, because again, you guys are just one class, so you're 31 people right here. That's not including everybody else. So we need people to stick to the deadlines to help us out. This is where you will upload your hours if you have any questions moving forward. You can see that this is already on there. I think they have it all the way up to February. So if you're a planner like me, you can put your hours all the way up to February if you want. So you can see there's February, there's January, and then this was December. So they're due by the 1st of every month. 23 people have turned it in. We still need 13. So be keeping that in mind, ladies, to get that in. This will also let you know if you are pretty close to graduation or how much of your program you still have left. It will also let you know kind of, where you are. If you're only clocking, if you say, hey, I'm going to do 30 hours this month and you only clock 10, that's a pretty big difference. So if we can stay on top of that, that would be great.
Hey Ashley, I have a question for you real quick about hours.
Sure.
I was not able to turn my hours in on time because for some reason there wasn't a slot for me to turn mine in. So we reached I know me and a couple other students, we kind of reached out to Maddie.
Not for December at all. I reached out to her too, and she just posted December today. It was a
Yeah.
January and a February, but it was no December.
Right. So a lot of us, we weren't able to submit because there was nowhere to submit to.
Interesting. Because you should be in the system. Hold on. But you're
Yeah,
in
she posted a slot for us to submit for it today.
okay. So that's what the sheet looks like. Everybody knows. See, make and watch. And then that how much thing now? Oh, that's what it was. Sorry. Um, so your name's still not on here? That's weird because if you're on the system, like when I assign you guys like your assignments, your name should already pop up over here. So I don't know, maybe that was just a error. That's weird. Because once you're on Google Classroom, you should be on there. So that might have just been like a hiccup. I don't know.
Hey, Ashley, I think it was that she just didn't have the December assignment posted. Like she had January hours and February hours, but there was nowhere. So I know I emailed mine since it wasn't there, but I'll go ahead and attach it there too. So I bet that's what it was. There just wasn't a December assignment there.
Okay, thank you. Sorry about that. Well, we need to do our part too, but just when it is posted, make sure that it's on there. You guys can see this is how all the assignments will be as well. Any assignment that you have from me personally, I will always put the time, and the time will be 10 a.m. So usually, like we'll go back, this is an old assignment. The assignment will always be at 10 a.m. and typically it's going to be on a Thursday. And you'll just upload it to Google Classroom. If you have trouble uploading to Google Classroom, let me see if make yourself a Gmail account and then download it to your Google Drive, and then you'll never have any problems. However, the longer the video is, the harder it is for it to download. I will say that. But anytime, if you just go ahead and make yourself a Gmail account and then put it on your Google Drive, and then you can always reference back to it too if you want, for social media or what have you, then you shouldn't have any problem uploading it, your videos and your pictures, unless it's too big of a file or too long. That is one thing that I struggle with even when I'm like recording the classes, and I try to keep the class at 50 or 55 minutes because I was noticing if it was doing like an hour 15, hour 20, it would start to not, it would still record, but you'd have a really hard time trying to get it onto to the regular platform, to this. So if you do have a long video, like let's say you're doing, I don't know, about a volume lash set, and it takes you 3.5 hours, if you can, try to remember to do that in segments, 55 to 60-minute segments, so you're able to get all of it. I know some of the ladies in the past are having trouble with that as well, when they're like, hey, I just did all this work and I can't even get it to upload. So make yourself a drive so that way you don't have any problems, and then B, chop and screw it. So, do the first hour, second hour, so on. So that way we're able to get all of it, and then also label it too. But you can still send it in one email. You're just sending several files. So that way we get it all. Does anybody have any questions about that?
Ashley, I have a question. So on Google Classroom, I think Maddie posted that all of our practical stuff needs to be put there now instead of emailed. Is that how exactly do we add our practical stuff there? There. Okay. So do we need to wait for the assignments, or we can just start attaching it anywhere in particular?
Well, those of you that have been here, I was just having you guys do what you've already done because the new practical assignments are different. So the new practical sheet has a whole bunch more than what you guys have that have been here. So the new practical sheet, let me find it. That's for the assignment. Click on here. So So this is the new practical sheet. And as you can see, a lot more. So, or maybe it's just smaller. No, it's a lot more. Spray tanning's been added, lash lifts and tints have been added, waxes have been added, and makeup applications have been added. So for those of you that are about to be done, like that's a lot. So everybody else that's new, you can go to Google Docs.
Miss Ashley, what are y'all considering at the school, new students? Who would we?
Well, that started in January.
Also, anybody coming in January and after, these are the requirements or criteria, or?
Yeah, practical requirements. That same sheet. But I don't know why it's not pulling up. That's weird. It only pulled up part of it. But you guys can see, that's so weird. Earlier I pulled it up and it pulled up everything. You can try it on yours. Make sure it pulls up. That's weird. But it's supposed to, you put your name and it's supposed to have like the start time right here and like the end time and some other stuff. I don't remember what else. Let's see. Procedure. Okay, so the date goes right here. That's weird that it's not pulling up. The start time, the end time, and then the initials. Obviously, if you're sending in videos, the staff will have to go into yours and do it for you. I hope that makes sense. But those that started January and after, this is the one that they will be required to complete. Those of you that have already started your sheet or finished your sheet, those were your practical requirements because those were the requirements. So make sure that you're just keeping up with them. But this is what Maddie was referring to. Okay. You guys that have been here, that one is not up here, I don't believe.
Okay, and do we keep sending those through the Google Photo app?
Yes, I would, because there's not a slot.
Okay, that's what I wanted to double check. I wasn't sure how we needed to upload them. If that's where I was kind of confused.
Let me see if it's under. So here. That's the graduation one. So this is your final one that you do at the very, I don't know what I keep pressing, at the very end of your course. I don't know.
Can you show the one that we will need to use for the people that started in December?
It's not on here anymore. That's what I was looking for. Yeah, they took it down. So,
but that should have came in the registration packet, right, Miss Ashley?
Yeah, you should have it. So just keep filling that out for you guys. Yeah, they took it down because I thought it was up here, but it's not anymore. Okay, what else was it? All right, the curriculum is right here. We are on, I don't know how to get this blue off of here. Can you guys still see the screen?
Yes.
Okay. So this is the curriculum. The curriculum has not changed. It's still the same. So we kind of went over histology. Let me not do that. Histology and the layers of the functions of the skin. The Wednesday before break. So tomorrow we'll still be right here, except we're going to go more in depth on the skin. I'm sorry, on the functions and the layers. Most of the time I'll follow this, but you'll notice that the practical may be a little bit different just because a lot of some of the practical stuff is missing, A, and B, a lot of times there's lashes in there and we may just work on something else. So again, tonight after class, I'll go ahead and post the agenda for the rest of the week so you guys can be prepared and know what we're going to be working on. If you want to work ahead, you're more than welcome. That will be posted probably every Monday evening after class, and I will try my darndest to follow. I will definitely follow with lecture, but again, the practical may be a little bit off because I try to coincide the lecture. So, you know, if we're doing facial machines, I'd rather show you LED and microdermabrasion versus a volume fan, just so it makes sense when we're going over a lecture and you're able to bring it together. So we'll be on week 5, starting on the 4th, and then we'll follow this accordingly. We do not, because this is, yeah, the reason this is blank is this is Martin Luther King Day, so we will not have class on the 18th of this month. Keep that in mind. And then when we get back that following week, we'll be doing mock boards. So for those of you that are getting ready to graduate, aka Latoya, if we go back to, where is it? Your third sheet for requirements. Yours might look a little bit different, but this is the one that needs to be completed. I know we've already done one mock board. I believe you have one more, if I'm not mistaken. So make sure that all 3 of those sheets are handed in together, and then your model sheet plus your 750 hours to graduate. That's what you'll be working on in these next couple of weeks if you haven't already finished it. I know the mock board, I don't think so. But we'll be doing, go back, state board in a couple of weeks. So that's when, where is that? Right here. You'll be able to do your state board mock number 2 unless we can find time before then. So if you want to plan to come to the campus that week and try to have everything done, that'd be great. Like all your hour, everything. So that way we can kind of go off the checklist and make sure everything's according to plan. So that way you don't think you're done and you're not. That'd be a great time to do your mock. But we'll be going over mock boards. This time I would like to incorporate a written exam. I think last time we did practical, and I believe I said this time we would do the written. So each time we'll do little segments, so you get it hopefully 2 to 3 times before your course is up. And then when we get back, this kind of doesn't apply because we don't have class on Monday. We'll get into, or after that, I'm sorry, we'll get into anatomy. Anatomy is a pretty lengthy chapter, going over facial machines, advanced topics, hair removal, skin diseases and disorders, selling products, mock boards again, theory, career planning. So your course for 750 hours is 18 weeks. So typically, if you stay the course, you should graduate in about 6 to 8 months. But that's going to depend on how many hours you're putting in. Again, if you are hybrid or more of an online student, you really have an advantage because you can do more hours. You're not physically coming up to the campus. When you're coming up to the campus, you can do just as many hours, but you have to keep in mind if you're a campus student, then the hours have to be done on campus. Also, ladies, they're cracking down this year. Make sure that if you say you're going to be there on campus, that you're there on campus. So if you say, hey, Tuesdays I'm going to be there on campus, make sure you're there. If you're not, it's going to count as an absence. And then you get a verbal, followed by a written, followed by a possible suspension, so on and so forth. So make sure if you're like, hey, I'm going to be there on Saturdays, that you're there on Saturdays and you're there at the time that you say. Not if you say you're going to be there at 11, you come at 1 o'clock. Be there at 11. They're booking you ladies clients to get you guys practice, and it's not fair to the client when you're unable to come. Now, I do understand things happen. We are in a pandemic. Stuff's crazy every day, but the more notice you give is better. And then, you know, if it's not a good time, then just be online. So that way the expectation of you being there is not there. And then the pressure is not on you. You're like, are you coming? Where are you at? So on and so forth. Trying to see. So that's the curriculum. It's 18 weeks. It's a rolling program. We're on week 5. So in, I don't know, 13 weeks, however, we'll be back on week 1 again. And so then it starts over. So if you missed anything, you'll get the opportunity to do it again. Granted, not all assignments are always the same. Sometimes I like to switch it up. And do different things to get different perspectives and just liven it up because things are changing in the aesthetics world. What was popular 10 years ago isn't necessarily popular today. For example, lashes. Lashes weren't that popular 10 years ago. Now they're banging and booming. So we kind of have to keep up with the times and then make sure the information that is given matches. I wanted to see. So I think that's everything. Grades, all your grades are on here as well. I don't want to show people's grades, but all your grades are on here as well. So anytime you're handing in something, typically there's going to be a grade for it when it comes from me to count towards your overall grade so we can kind of see where you are. Just make sure again that you hand it in the slot. So we'll go to an old assignment. For instance, let's see, mission statements. That's an easy one. There'll be a little slot and you just click on the assignment and you'll be able to hand it in. You can take a picture of your stuff, or my suggestion, going back to the drive thing, is put everything on your drive. So, you know, if it's questions or whatever, go ahead and just put it on your Google Drive and upload it that way. So that way, if the camera is blurry or something happens, we're still able to read it and there's no issue. We're also in the process of moving everything onto the drive as well. So that way it's just easier for everybody and stuff's all in one place and we're not like, where is it?
I do have a question for you.
Sure.
Where can I find the instructions? I need to do that skin disease essay. So I didn't know specifically. I started it, but I didn't know specifically what you were looking for.
Did I put it as an assignment on?
It's on that practical sheet. Well, at least the one I have, which may be outdated.
So I haven't.
Ashley hasn't given it to us yet.
Yeah, I haven't given it yet. So we'll just talk separately because I haven't given that.
Okay.
We all talk separately?
Huh?
Can we all talk separately?
I guess if you want to. Okay. Let's see. I think I covered everything. Skateboard, curriculum, hours, assignments. I think that's it. Does anybody have any questions? So moving on. So this will, again, for those of you that are new and those of you that have been here, this will be our main platform. This is how I communicate. The only other time I'll communicate with you different is when I'm doing advising sessions, and I'll personally send you a direct message. Oops. I'll personally send you a direct message on GroupMe. So make sure that everybody's GroupMe. Everybody's good. Okay, so everybody's on here and everybody's GroupMe is good. Okay, cool. So we will start advising sessions probably at the end of next week because they need to be done by the 15th of every month. So kind of show you where you are. Hopefully all the hours will be in for the break, and then we have a pretty consistent or pretty accurate time frame of where you might be when you graduate. Does everybody that has been here, minus like the new students, do you guys get an update of your hours, like text or email to you from TDLR? It should be like once a month, I think.
Yes, they come.
Okay. All right. Okay. All right. So this will be our main platform, Google Classroom. It looks like everybody's on there. Everybody has accepted their emails. So this is how we will communicate, unless it's GroupMe and me sending you like a direct message, or sometimes the other instructors will use GroupMe. Like you'll see Miss Sharice posted on, I'm sorry, not Miss Sharice, Miss Sharina posted on GroupMe her lectures and times. And I think sometimes the cosmetology, I get them mixed up because it's Sharina. I don't get them mixed up, but I just mess up. It's Sharina and like Sharina or something. I don't know. Anyway, can't think right now.
You talking about Miss Khadijah?
No, the cosmetology. Like Sharina and Sharina and Serena. That's what it is. And it's like, okay. Okay. Anyway, so that is our main platform, Google Classroom. GroupMe is the second platform. And then our third platform is Cengage. So this is where your advising session, when I'm talking about how you're doing on Cengage, this is what I'm referring to. I just pick somebody. This is nobody's. I'll be worried. It's like all at a zero. But I go to your gradebook. And oh, weird. Lost connection. Oh, it kicks you off. One thing about Cengage is it does kick you off. So if you're not active, it kicks you off. But this is where I go and I get your login, seeing how often you're logging in to Cengage, getting your Cengage. But I get your Cengage percentage, and then I can also see how you're doing. I can also, nope, I don't know why. See how you're doing with the pre-assessment and all that. I wanted to go through it, but I don't know why it's not opening back up. I don't have the names. Right, let me see. Sorry, guys. So those of you that are new should have gotten a Cengage login ID. Make sure you try to do it from your desktop. I think you get the best version of it. It makes it a little bit easier. Okay. I know. I've been having problems. Has anybody else been having problems with Cengage, or is it just me?
No.
It's just me. I
It'll
figured.
take a couple of tries. Normally it does for me. I don't know if it's my internet connection, but I have like the fastest one they got going, but like it takes you a couple of tries. It'll kick you out several times.
I think that one. I picked that one because I can do this one because there wasn't any grades on there. I don't want to show anybody's grade. I didn't have a grade. All right. So I go to the grade book. It shows me your progress. This is a part of your advising session, as well as filling out like those practical sheets and then the assignments that are on Cengage. You want to make sure that you get a 90 or better, even when you're doing a pre-assessment to something. You still should have clicked on. I'm going to click on histology and physiology. So it matches where we are. So you still want to make sure you go through it. You may not know anything. The point is that the point of this is to let you know, hey, you may have started this not knowing anything, but look at all the things that you've learned and that you now know. One of the things I also would like to incorporate when we're doing our practicals on Mondays is when we're talking, if we do have a live model, and even if we don't, and it's just the mannequin, we're using the language, you're using the terminology that you're learning. So that way you're already in practice when you're done. But you just go through, answer all the questions. It will let you know what you got. All the assessments, assignments, so on and so forth, videos, everything on Cengage, you should watch. Don't miss anything on here. I would read through Cengage, like we're on chapter 10, read through that, and then come over here and go to the book and then read the chapter in its entirety. Because a lot of times it's a lot of information packed into an hour section. You're not going to remember everything, and you're not probably going to understand everything either. But go through. The objectives are telling you what you should learn from the chapter. So after the chapter, you should be able to explain the functions of the skin, what the major ones are. Describe the 3 layers of the skin. Describe how skin gets its color from melanocytes and where the melanocytes are manufactured. Which layer of the skin is it manufactured in? And in that layer, which sublayer of the skin is it manufactured in? How are melanocytes manufactured? All those different things. Define collagen and elastin, name the glands of the skin and the importance of the glands and how if a certain gland isn't working or it has, bacteria or whatever, how that can affect acne, so on and so forth. You just getting little bits of tidbit information so you understand as yourself and you're more educated, and then you're able to educate your clients and give them the best services and treatment. So just make sure that you're going through this. It does serve a purpose. It's not just going through the motions. It's breaking it down step by step again, so it's not so much information at once. You have flashcards at the end of this to help you with terms. So it gives you the definition and then, of course, the term itself. You can also use Quizlet if you want. Quizlet's a really great way to get information down, or some people like to make their own physical note cards, which is kind of cool too, because then if you're somewhere, you can just kind of whip them out and review that way. But here are all the resources you should need to be able to comprehend the information that's being given. If you have questions, feel free to ask them. I always try to leave time at the end if anybody has any questions, comments, or concerns about anything, so that way it's answered. If you don't feel comfortable, you can send a little message on the screen if you want, but make sure that you comprehend what's being said so we don't keep going on. You're like, but this is a really good way to memorize the terms. As you can see, this chapter alone has 62 terms. So that's a lot of terms. And then at the end of each chapter, you'll have a final chapter exam where you can go through and answer all the questions. This is like the review of the chapter to make sure you comprehend. Don't use your book. Don't use cheat sheets. Really take it seriously so you know where you stand. Ultimately, this is your program. This is your career. So what you put into it is what you'll get out of it. So make sure that you do this thoroughly. As you can see, if we go back to our aesthetics curriculum, Yes, the chapters tests are at the end of each week. So we typically only have class Monday through Thursday. This is assigned on Friday, but I normally give it over the weekend because you have Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So you technically have a 3.5 day weekend because we don't come physically to class on Monday, but we have class in the however you want to say it. But the chapter tests are given at the end of each curriculum. Sometimes I give them when I remember, but I normally just give it over the weekend. So really, you know, if you're like, man, I need to go over this chapter again, take that extra Friday or Saturday and then take the test on that Sunday. Why? So you're on top of your program. You don't want to be in week 12 or 13 of you being here, even though we're starting on week 5 and 13 weeks from now, you know, you didn't do chapter 10, you didn't do state board, you know, you didn't do all these things. That's just going to prolong your program until it comes back around again. So keep that in mind. I try to follow the curriculum as much as I can so that way you guys can follow, you know, like tomorrow we'll be going over the functions, still in chapter 10. I just went over a little bit over with you over Cengage. Hopefully those of you that have been here already completed it over break, but it's to help you stay at a moderate pace to complete your program. So that way, you're not here for 13 months or 13 years. You know, when you're getting 10 hours a month, you're going to pay overage charges. That's going to be thousands of dollars, and you're going to get burnt out because it's taking forever. So I will do my best as your instructor to help you stay on task, but it's going to be up to you to try to stay on as well. So that's a part of your advising session. What's another one there? Your Cengage, it shows all your attempts. You can have unlimited attempts. You can have unlimited attempts, but your goal is to get it in 3, because one thing that you can't have unlimited is state board. Well, you can, but it's going to cost. So, you know, once you take your state board the first time and we're all going to pass, we're not going to worry about it. But God forbid you don't, you have to pay for it, go through the process again. So I encourage you, like I said, you know, if I'm like, hey, read chapter 10, read chapter 10. So that means come over to your Cengage and your book and actually read the chapter. And then when we're going back and I'm breaking it down as much as I can with the class time that we have, then follow along. If you want to work ahead, great. You know, if you understand it, great. But that will keep you on a moderate pace to where it's not so much. Let's see. I think I covered it. Yep. All right. So that should be advising sessions, Cengage, GroupMe. Is everybody on GroupMe? Everybody has gotten some type of staff plus their name on a GroupMe to where you have access to the staff and to your instructors.
Yes.
Also, I'm going to cover about the lashes. So even though I think what it missed. Even, did she say, I'm not going to say that. I'll wait till I get clarification. But if you want to attend lash class, it's every Monday at 10 a.m. And then they also sometimes have evening classes at 5:30 p.m. You can attend your aesthetics evening 5:30 or your lash. It's up to you. But there should be a replay so you can watch the replay of it. But that's when your lash classes are. They should be going over classic lashes with you, volume lashes with you, hybrid lashes, lash baths, volume, hybrid, classic, lash baths, and anything else that's on that sheet. Lash mapping, the different products, the eye anatomy, eye diseases. I'm just thinking off the top of my head. All the stuff that we go over in aesthetics, well, not all of it, but a lot of stuff that we go over in aesthetics that applies to the eye. So what we talk about with the face, that applies to the eye. So all that should be pretty much covered. I mainly focus on aesthetics. Every once in a while, I'll throw, you know, some stuff in there for us to practice lashes. But since you actually have a segment on Mondays, I kind of leave that up to the lash department to do that. We will go over it sometimes, but my main focus is aesthetics. So in facial products, ingredients, the aesthetics business, trends, all that stuff is, you know, kind of my meat and potatoes and what I want to set you up for. The cool thing about aesthetics, those of you that are new, is it will cover your lash portion. So even though you don't specialize in lashes or have a specialty lash license, your esthetician license will cover your lashes. Why? Because lashes are considered an accessory of makeup, and makeup is covered under aesthetics, even though it's not mandated. Okay. I think that's all that I have for you ladies tonight. Does anybody have any questions, comments, concerns?
Hey, Ashley, is there a separate Google Classroom for that lash class that we need to be in, or are those replays being posted somewhere else? I think I may have been missing some of those.
No, you should be in the lash class too. That was one question that Ms. Sharina answered. Yes, you should be in there as well.
Okay, so I need to.
How will you get access to it? So that is a message I will send Maddie, because Maddie's the one that places students into classrooms.
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
You're very welcome. Does anybody else have any questions? No? All right. So our next class, if I can talk, will be tomorrow at 10 a.m. We're going to go over the 6 major functions and get into the layers of the skin, and then you'll also be given a skin assignment. Like I said, later on this evening, I'll post the agenda for the rest of the week so you can know what's coming, not have any surprises, and hopefully plan accordingly. I think that's all I got. If nobody else has any questions, I will be posting this in the next few hours as I finish writing up. All right. I did record it, so this will be a part of the post too. It'll just be one big long post. Okay. Everybody enjoy the rest of your evening.
Thank you.
Thank you. Good night.
Bye.
Bye.